Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is March the 6th, 2024. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. And guess what? I'm very excited. I got a friend on the pod. He's actually come on this pod before. Say hello, Terrell Flowers.
What's going on, world?
Hey. We're doing a little bit of a long distance ting again. But Flowers, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good today.
Dude, hell yeah, hell yeah. As for me, I'm solid. I'm hanging in. I'm locked in. Work, it's been good. You know, grinding at the old warehouse, crushing cardboard. Let's see. That was pretty ho hum. Food wise, I did. What did we do last night? Pasta? Yeah, I ate some pasta. Pasta bolognese, the old red sauce, some salad, some bread, and yeah, it was good. It was solid. Flowers, you eat anything
Hell
yummy?
yeah. Uh, my fiance made some pork chops. That was cool. Oh, we had
Ooh,
salad too.
ooh, dude, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm just not a big veg guy, but like salad is such an easy vegetable to call a vegetable, and I can
It
do whatever I
really
want
is.
with it. I can get debaucherous with it. I can put a little turkey in there. I can get weird. So I love a good
Some
salad.
cheese.
All right. So yeah, I mean that's the usual ho hum. Flowers, thank you for appeasing me, talking about your little din din and whatnot. We can go ahead and talk politics. Let's do Super Tuesday. Actually, I was holding off to talk about this because I wanted to hear the results. I also wanted to chop it up with you about this shit. You were very eager, and
hmm
I love to hear my friends like actually eager about this shit. Because I mean, I get it. I don't know if this is me being a fucking 33-year-old, but I feel like for a while I've been like this because I just feel like, hey, a lot of this shit is going to affect me, so I need to try to pay attention. You know. And I feel like
Definitely.
you've been very similar, and I've always loved that about you and some of our other friends. So yeah, really excited to talk about the Super Tuesday shit. Plus, I got surprised about Nikki Slaley, some things, but yeah, we'll start from the top.
Yeah, yeah.
Essentially, it fell in favor of Donald Trump, which no one was really surprised about. He's leading with about 1,031 delegates. He's slated to more or less win out by the end of the month. I will give Nikki Haley some credit. She pulled another win out of her hat in Vermont. But I
Yeah,
mean, when you kind of look at that base, it's not super surprising. It's a lot like DC, the spot she had won as well. But I mean, hey, I mean that's girl boss maxing. She really fucking did it.
yeah, yeah.
When this
She
shit
put
st-
him.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, she had him shook. I mean, if he's posting about you, you know you're doing right.
That is true. And it was one of those things where like when he started like aiming his like cadence, his taunts and things at her, I knew it was like, okay, this is at least something he's rising to the occasion. He's not gonna completely brush her off here. And also
Yeah.
you could see how he moved in the backgrounds trying to be like, hey, call this thing right now. I'm already the guy. And essentially, they're like, that's not how the rules work, Donald. You can't do that. He's like, well, I'm just going to win anyway. Why? Like, we don't even need to go through this. But this is why, because essentially, Haley did get to put numbers on the board. She got to do more than Ron fucking DeSantis did. That's for damn sure. She showed the fuck out on
I
this.
was so happy about that.
Dude,
Like,
me
I
too.
don't like Nikki Haley, but God, I fucking hate her.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
real cussing this, right?
Which, sorry, say that again?
I said we're allowed to cuss, right?
Oh, yeah, you can say
I
shit. You
just
can say shit, fuck, ass titty. Yeah, say whatever you want.
all right, yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking hate Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, dude. Fuck that meatball
They gonna
man.
step to Disney and lose.
Dude, ugh, like, and that
You
thing's
gotta,
so
you gonna
fucked up.
come. You gotta come correct,
You gotta be fucked up if you got me rooting for a corporation over you.
right?
Okay, I'm sorry. So yeah, Ron DeStinky. I'm so glad he took this L, and I'll give that to Nikki Haley, Nikki Slaley in
Mm,
that regard. But she actually at the start of the day, I woke up and I saw that she said, "Hey, I'm throwing it in. I'm actually suspending my campaign." And I said, "You know
mm.
what, girl? Way to get the money and run. You know, you held strong. You got to the end of the road. You see the numbers on the shit, and you're saying, okay, it's time for me to pack it up. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and she set herself up good for a 2080 or 2028 run
yeah.
because Donald Trump will be termed out unless
It turned out.
he
Yeah.
forms a dictatorship. But if democracy holds, he'll be termed out, and she is the obvious next choice.
Yeah.
Like Vivek, nobody. Ron DeSantis, nobody likes him.
Yeah. He's got to go and
And like,
defend
I can't
Florida.
think.
He's got to defend the home right
Yeah,
now.
Yeah, it's not looking too good over there.
Yeah.
That's another story for another day, though.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what his post up plan is for Florida because I do think he's big in Florida. He still has a lot of power and pull there. But like you
Uh,
said, that's for another episode, another podcast. But
yeah,
I
yeah.
did want to
I'll
go
be
ahead,
on for that one.
dude. Hell yeah, I would love that. I'd love to have someone to walk with me through this political shit. You know, hell yeah.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
I did want to read this title. I'm not going to stick to it too long, but yeah, from the Associated Press, Nikki Haley suspends her campaign and leaves Donald Trump as the last major Republican candidate. Another girl boss thing that she did that I wanted to mention is that she's holding out on her endorsement of Trump, which is something that all of the other motherfuckers did immediately. Like, it was so lame seeing like Tim Scott just like immediately try to suck off Donald. Like, oh, come on, I'll be on stage for you, daddy. I'll shuck and jive for you. Oh yeah, I love this man. And it's like, bro,
Oh my
you
God,
just got
that
laid and this is how you're gonna act? Like, Jesus Christ. It was very
right.
disappointing. Even Ron DeSantis even kind of like kissed the ring a bit. Like
Hmm.
it's like, bro, this is very pathetic. You literally tried to come for this man's job and failed. And I get it. This is the party politics. But once again, I'll give Haley credit for saying, you know what? I probably will endorse this man by before the day is done. Even Mitch McConnell did that shit, I think, as of today.
Uh-huh.
I'll kiss the ring eventually, but not now. At the end of the day, he has to win you over, supporters, moderates. Like, she
Yeah.
kept playing to the group that she should be playing to. That's very smart. Like, I will
Uh-huh.
give that to her. She gets the like Hillary Clinton badge. You know what I mean? Like, you are of that caliber. You could definitely make a run. Maybe if you have your hot sauce in your bag, and maybe you'll make it happen. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of like you, I'm not rooting for Nikki. You know what I mean? But it was an
Definitely a
interesting
good
run.
politician.
Yeah, definitely
And
doing the realpolitik to be like, hey, I was in the room with Trump. Now I'm against Trump, and I think I can win you over. Like that.
uh,
That's a hard play to make.
right. But I
Um,
think he made it the best of anybody. I mean, definitely she did.
yeah,
Because, like you said it, she played to the people that she needed to play to.
yeah.
Like, Donald Trump needs to play to moderates. He's not going to do that. He
He
is all
can't.
about
He
his
can't.
base.
He's a
This man will
populist.
do anything he can do to get his dick sucked. He's like, oh, mwah, 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 mwah.
Yeah,
Like, oh, I'm going to go to the South. Mwah, 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 mwah.
yeah.
He doesn't fuck with anybody who doesn't fuck with him already. He is not made to play to moderates, and that's what I hope that Joe Biden not only makes a play to moderates, but also left of the party.
Yeah. I
That's a
think that's
thing
where
that
he's losing
I
the
kind of
most.
hope for.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned that because I kind of wanted to segue to the Biden half of this. He also did well in Super Tuesday, but there were pockets of uncommitted voters. That's still a thing. I would say
Um,
from what I saw on the statistics, no state was over like the teens. Like no, it was all under 20%. But those are still
mhm.
numbers that could come back to bite Biden when it comes down to an election in November. And I mean, I think that's the biggest concern. But I wonder how they're really going to combat this. It seems so far that the biggest conversation is like, oh, we are going to fight and we are going to like keep talking to Israel and we're going to keep, saying things to them. But, we'll see what happens with that ceasefire. It seems like it's still something that's up in the air. And I think that might be something that winds up continuing to plague his campaign. No matter
Oh,
how many times
definitely.
he pulls out Kamala Harris to like, say some like cool thing or something. It just, my fear is it might not be enough.
This is what I would say to any of those voters. Anybody hesitant to vote for Joe Biden because of the genocide in Gaza, let's call it what it is. Let's
Yeah,
call it
real.
spade. It's a genocide. Joe Biden is not handling this as well as we would like him to. But how much worse is a Republican going to do? We know how much they kowtow to Israel. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. People holding out a vote because he didn't handle this well. Because what's the alternative? It's like being stuck in a desert. You're hungry, and somebody's like, "Oh, well, I've got some stale bread," and you're like, "I don't want no stale bread." And then the next guy's like, "Well, I got a bag of shit." It's like, ugh.
I got a bad
Like
shit.
you might want to take that stale bread.
It is better than
And
nothing, yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I know that it sucks because we're tired of oh, we gotta like take the least bad
The
choice. But
lesser
I
evil
mean,
conversation, yeah.
yeah, like we're unfortunately that's where we're at for right now. And like there will be elections where we can make a stand and say, hey, no, we're not going to. But like with a crazy person like Donald Trump, we need to mobilize as many people against that.
Yeah.
If he wins, like you've heard of Project 2025, like he is planning to make us a theocracy. If you like women's rights, if you like trans rights, like the only thing you can do right now is, I mean, I guess kind of suck it up and vote for Biden because the alternative is worse. People will die under this.
I definitely agree that it is one of those things where a Trump administration is always going to be worse when you're looking at it, you know, in the scheme of things, a Democratic to a conservative. It's always going to be like, well, yeah, if you have any kind of progressive leanings, you're going to want to vote for, you know, the fucking Democratic Party. But I can also see that, you know, especially covering the Biden administration the way that I have, and, you know, just remembering surviving 2016 and onwards, it's like I can understand how someone who's progressive minded, someone who's a leftist, is like, look, dude, I am staring at a barrel of a gun one way or another. And I can take this stale bread shit analogy and just say, we're switching up the caliber. And I'm just most likely going to survive, but I have to be shot by someone. And I shouldn't have to be shot by someone. Like, the person who's saying they're going to help me should try to deliver and not just do lip service. And I think that that's something that it's not just Biden in this regard. It is the average Democrat that says, all I have to do is say the right words to you guys, and I got your vote. I got the black vote, Jack. I still get mad about Biden for saying that shit out loud at a presser.
Oh, me too.
You know what
Me
I mean?
too.
It's like, brother, you do not have shit, brother. Like, seeing how he's conducted himself for these 4 years, it is one of those things where I do feel like that this could be where the chickens come to roost, or whatever the fuck that phrase is.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that I want a Trump administration to, slap Biden on the wrist, because at the end of the day, I do agree with you, and I do feel like we hurt ourselves in the long run to have any conservative in office. I think that is why we have a supercharged Supreme Court. And that is fucking us the long way. You know what I mean? There are so many situations where you have these elected officials that we have put into power or let put into power by inaction because we wanted to do what? Either not have a voice or withhold our voice and call the people who do vote and do anything cowards. I don't see the point in that. So in that regard, I totally agree with you, brother, for sure. But I also understand, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the young vote doesn't come out. And that would bum me. That would break my heart because I know my ass is going to be out there riding for fucking Biden. I hate that shit. I hate it. But that's me because that's just how I view this whole situation. And I really hope... oh, go ahead. My bad. I know I'm talking long.
No, you're cool.
I really do hope that the people who, you know, want to see change, that they're sick of these people, then okay. This leads me to at least the next point I wanted to make, you know, kind of before we segue into some other non-political things. From Vox, was it? Yeah, Vox, that's the outlet. Jason Palmer, the guy who beat Biden in American Samoa, briefly explained. I essentially just wanted to talk about this dude, not really the details. This is a business guy. He really wasn't a known candidate. I mean, I talked about the Doug Phillips, the Marianne Levinson or whatever, you know, Crystal Mommy. But this guy did the work. He won these people over, and they voted for him. And I'm not saying, oh, this is a guy you should put on as your right on or whatever. No, I don't know this guy's politics or whatever. I don't even know or think he could win. At the end of the day, though, you do have to put in the work. You cannot just throw, to me, this is my opinion, you cannot just throw your hands up and say, I give up, I don't want these guys. I'm sick of this shit. Well, so you have to do something. You have to do something. I just feel like it's either your vote or it's some kind of direct action. That's all I really want out of my listeners or any of the naysayers out there who are like, I'm just mad and I just want to maul about this shit.
Thank you. That's kind of what I meant. Like, I know that I didn't sound like a centrist, but
no,
like,
I understand, and I get it because I've round myself down to more or less being a liberal too. But I am so, and you are too. I'm appalled by Joe Biden. I hate the shit that he does. Kamala Harris too. But it's just one of those things where it's like we, as a group of people, have to vote and do the things and make the changes. And we can't just bellyache. Like I hate
Yeah.
that is the most common thing for leftists to do is bellyache and infight. And
Yes.
it's like,
I
brother,
see
I
so
can't
many
align with
Facebook
you if you
posts, but
do
I
that.
don't see any action.
Exactly, exactly. I've been unfollowing, unfriending motherfuckers who just want to be scream at liberals for voting for Joe Biden. It's like, brother,
Um,
you didn't do anything. You ate bonbons just like I did. So you have to show me and put me on a path that actually works towards a actual thing, an actual
right.
change, and I will walk with you on that. You know.
Yes.
So that's
Exactly. Put me on to somebody who is left of Joe Biden that can win,
yeah.
and I'll vote for him.
No,
But
no,
right
and
now
no
is
Nader
not
bait.
the
I don't
time.
want a third party bullshit vote that isn't gonna actually matter. That's a Mickey Mouse vote to
Yeah.
me. I'm sorry. Like, if you can actually show me where we get the numbers there, all right, cool. That's awesome. I will I will walk with you. But I just hate a
Yeah.
motherfucker who's just gonna just bellyache. That's nothing to me.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So good. I'm glad we have chopped up Super Tuesday on a Wednesday. We done it. We're good. I want to do a little bit of international news. So let's go to the Business Insider. Um, actually, let me preface this a little bit. I am a fan of dry ice. I'm a fan of science. I love these kind of things. I'm gonna take you on a little bit of a flashback, Flowers. Back, this was in grade school. I got this really cool science project that I had to do in a group, and I was really nervous because group projects are like usually really shitty, and this was a big project. It was like a big portion of my fucking grade. And essentially, you had to make a roller coaster. And this roller coaster had to be very elaborate and do all these kind of fucking things and functions. You were literally doing roller coaster tycoon IRL with like a group of 3 people. So,
That sounds fun as hell.
yeah, it was fun as fuck, but I was very nervous. But everyone that I was in a group with was very excited. And we came up with this idea that we were going to do a haunted roller coaster. So I'm like, oh my God, we're doing Scooby-Doo IRL roller coaster. This is so cool. And we were like, how do we nail the vibe? And we came up with this idea. Dry ice. And I was like, how the
Yeah.
fuck are you gonna get dry ice, brother? Like, this is like, now I'm like in Breaking Bad. How are you gonna get the supply? Like, that's how are you doing that? He's like, I got a guy, don't worry. And essentially they wind up, we assemble this whole spooky contraption over styrofoam, and it kind of looks a little bit shitty, but it's so funny how we get this dry ice and we put this shit all around and you let it go, and it's like, oh my God, we did it. We fucking did it, dude. We're spooked to the fucking gills, man. Like, it was so dope. And I remember being like, hey, don't touch this shit. It will burn you. And I was like, but it's ice. And it's like, it's science, man. And I'm like, hell yeah. So I preface this because this dry ice, this magical fucking gaseous solid thing, was involved in a dinner incident. Dinners vomited and spat blood after being given dry ice as an after-meal mouth freshener, police say.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Police.
Have you ever like been outside when it's real cold and your throat like gets all dry and like, you know?
Yes.
All right, now put that on 10,000 because that's what happened to these people. I couldn't imagine because it's so cold it burns.
Yes. And it's in your throat, going down your stomach.
Oh my gosh.
And
If you've ever eaten food that's too hot and like you swallow it and you can feel it burn all the way down, this is worse than that.
this is
Oh
worse because it's
gosh.
actually burning. It's actually doing that thing. This is worse than
Hmm.
BW3s. But yes, police in Gurugram in northern India arrested a hotel restaurant manager on Tuesday after social media footage appeared to show diners spitting up blood after a meal. Police say the restaurant served diners after dinner mouth fresheners containing dry ice. And look, I kind of get it because I'm sure you've seen the cool videos on your little tiki-taki, your reel of like, ooh, look at this drink. This Moscow Mule has smoke coming out of it. I personally do not like that shit.
Hmm.
There's a Mexican restaurant I go to sometimes. It's very cool. It's very fun. Good food. But they get way too cosmopolitan with their goddamn margaritas, and they'll put dry ice in that shit. And they've brought me a drink, and I'm like, why is this bubbling? Like it's a concoction. I ordered a house margarita, senora, and it's like, this is what we do. And I'm like, I wish you wouldn't, because I don't need to drink
You're
that.
not supposed to put dry ice in food, are you? I
I'm
thought that it was
sure. I'm
supposed to
sure
be
whatever I was served was probably not dry ice, but maybe something that's like equivalent. Maybe I fucking hope.
yeah,
But yeah, like I get the trend. I get the idea. But like you said, this is never supposed to be something you directly ingest into your body. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So the idea that they left this, and with the idea of saying, "Hey, yeah, just go ahead and it's a dinner mint like an Andes." Like, no, motherfucker. Like I could die. um
Yes. Oh my goodness, I can't imagine that pain.
the suffering. But luckily, no one has died. It doesn't seem like, Diner started vomiting and had a burning sensation in their mouth after consuming the mouth fresheners. Let's see. I believe one person was arrested, and there's a search underway for the restaurant's owner. So he is still at large for the incident.
So wait, the restaurant owner is still at large, and they arrested somebody. Who'd they
The
arrest?
manager. The manager got arrested. So, I mean, he's
Oh,
kind of just catching a body here. Like,
this man just came to work and did what he was
he
supposed
just
to
clocked
do.
in. He just clocked in, dude. It's on the menu, okay? At the end of the day, even down to the waiter, like, it's served the way that it's supposed to be served. Like,
Right.
I would hope, though, that someone would have said, oh, this is a terrible idea. We could kill someone and then would just not do this, say
Uh,
something. But hey, I get it. A job's a job. And maybe you don't know about the harms of dry ice.
yeah. And even if you did, they did. Like, I mean, you know how it goes at work. It's like, oh, this doesn't seem right, but I guess I got to do it. That's what they
Right.
told me.
Right. A job is a job, is a gig is a gig, and he's my boss. I don't get paid to think. I love saying that shit. And then just going off and
Right.
just fucking off and doing some dumb thing. I did want to read this little highlighted portion I have here. Prolonged exposure or ingesting dry ice, a solid form of carbon dioxide used as a cooling agent, can cause frostbite, respiratory issues, and internal organ damage. So, yeah. Pretty rough
Yeah.
shit.
Oof.
Yeah, I hope for all the people who went and ingested that food, hopefully they recover well. You know, my flowers to them. Yeah, because
Yeah,
that's
I pray
wild.
for a speedy recovery.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, keep it cool. Okay, I have one more story to cover, and then we'll walk it on out. So you know what that means? I actually skipped my startup. Actually, I did a little break on the side while you were talking. That's why I love having a little compatriot here, a little partner in crime. But I'm gonna take my last break, and
I was waiting for the break. I was gonna join you.
oh, my bad, my bad. Yeah, I went ahead and snuck it in. But yeah, we're gonna take our last break because we deserved it. We earned it. We're hard newsies, and
Yeah, I think we deserve it.
yes, yes, and you need to know, Flowers. You are a newsie. I dub thee. If you didn't already know, that was already in you, like the Captain Planet thing. Like you have the ring inside of you. But yes, you are a newsie. All right,
Thank you, thank you.
no
I'm
problem.
proud.
Thank you. We're gonna take our little break, and then we'll close this shit out.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Okay, I'm back. I'm locked in. We're here.
I'm ready for this. Let's do it.
Okay. From the Associated Press. Dartmouth men's basketball team votes to unionize, though steps remain before forming labor union. The Dartmouth's men basketball team voted to unionize Tuesday in an unprecedented step forward, forming the first labor union for college athletes and another blow to the NCAA's deteriorating amateur business model. I love how this is always worded in the sense of like, oh, the spirit of the game is being killed. We're ruining amateur basketball. Ooh, woo. And it's like, no, dude. Like, if you're gonna treat these people like employees, you have to compensate them like they're employees. Like, me personally, I can't stress that enough. That just makes
Mhm.
sense to me. But these motherfuckers are acting like we are ruining at a pastime or something like that. I don't know.
Do you know how much money goes into college sports? I
Oh,
live
so
in,
much.
well, a town where like college sports ruled at like I see people in the gear all the
Yeah,
time, and like these students aren't seeing a dime of this.
not a damn
And
penny.
I went to the University of Cincinnati, and they don't have like a huge team per se, but like college, it's all about the sports,
Yes.
and so a lot of like academics. I felt like fell to the wayside, honestly.
Yeah,
And it's annoying.
it's
And
very frustrating.
what'd you say?
It's very frustrating.
Yeah. Like these kids deserve that money. They're the ones putting their bodies on the line.
Exactly. And a lot of times you're not going to get that shot. This is your shot right now. So like let me go ahead and read a little more, and we're going to chop this up as we go. But in an
Okay.
election supervised by the National Labor Relations Board in the school's Human Resources Office, the players voted 13-2 to join Service Employees International Union, Local 560, or CU 560, um, which already represents some Dartmouth workers. Every player on the roster voted, which I love to see. Like at the end of the day, this is all about the like people coming together, having a say. You have a voice. It matters. And then that having that impact, like now the school has to like respond. Now
Yeah.
there's more to add here. The school has appealed to the full NLRB, seeking to overturn last month's decision by the board's regional official that the Dartmouth players are employees and thus entitled to unionize. Both sides have until March 12th to file an objection with the NLRB over the election procedures. Barring that, the local will be certified as a workers' bargaining representative.
I
Uh,
love to hear it.
yep,
Love to hear it.
I do too. Now, the highlighted portion I have is kind of the cons coming out of the, like, more or less from Dartmouth. Dartmouth has told students that unionizing could get the team kicked out of the Ivy League or even the NCAA. In a statement, the school said it was supportive of the 5 unions it negotiates with on campus, including CU Local 560, but insisted that the players are students and not employees. And I really feel like they are doing this because they don't want to shell out the money. And the
They
argument
don't,
and the argument I get that I can understand because we do live in a fucking capitalist society that it's like,
unfortunately.
look, we are like, yes, we're an Ivy League, cool, but we are a small bean team. We kind of fucking suck, okay? Like we're fighting for our lives every fucking season, all right? And we don't
Right.
make a lot of money out of this. But it's like, okay, but kind of like what you were saying at the top, you are a sports organization and people do come out, they do buy the fucking merch, they do like this is interwoven into your economic model that you make money off of. So they
Right.
should see a cut of it. They should have some kind of benefit for what they do. They shouldn't just be left hanging in the wind and just be happy to have a scholarship.
Exactly. Like I completely understand like people being upset about these kids wanting to unionize. They're like, oh well, that's gonna ruin like you said, the spirit of the game. But at the end of the day, I think that's bullshit. I don't
I
know why I
get it.
said I see. I don't see that at all.
I get it. You know,
But
you gotta play. You gotta play both sides sometimes. You don't want to sound like you're just completely like, I don't give a fuck. I didn't consider this.
right.
I completely understand. But no, fuck the other side. Tomatoes for
Yeah,
you.
there is no. It's untenable. It's
Yeah,
untenable that they make so much. Like I tried to play that other side, but I couldn't do it.
I feel you,
It's
dog.
untenable that they make so much money, and these kids don't see anything but a scholarship. They hand those out.
Thank you.
I understand it's an Ivy League school, but still, like, what are
It's a
you
school.
offering
It's a
that?
school. I hate it. Like at the end of the day, a degree is a degree. It's a piece of paper. Like
Yeah,
fucking pedigree. I piss on that.
exactly.
I'm
But like,
sorry.
it does mean something in the business world,
That's true. I
and
know.
that
I
sucks.
know. I know.
But
I
it
shake my
sucks,
fist.
but you gotta play
You're
ball.
right.
But these kids deserve more than that. They deserve some money for the physical work.
Yeah.
I played a few sports in like middle school, high school. I wrestled, played soccer for exactly 1 week.
Hell yeah.
And I remember the practices. It's rough. It's
It's
hard
grueling.
work, and it gets in the middle. Like it gets in the way of like their social things.
Yeah.
So these kids aren't getting paid, and they probably have to work too.
Yeah.
So like you're not paying them for the work they're doing.
Not to mention
You're
the student
benefiting off
work,
of
the
that.
actual student workload you have to do, making good
Yeah.
grades, keeping that shit up.
God, and that I remember those days. It's rough.
Yeah, it's not for fucking nothing. So I would like to see these guys get paid, and it's like, oh, well, what if this is a slippery slope and other sports and things, and next thing you know, we got to unionize macrame. Fine, unionize it all. as far as I'm
Union.
concerned.
Yeah, I was
More
just about to
unions.
say it.
I don't give a shit. That's what I want. I don't care how
Yeah.
socialist that sounds. That's what I'm aiming for.
No, like that's how our country was founded.
Thank you.
That is a capitalist idea.
Yep.
Union. We have had unions for quite a long time, and it's just recently that like 1924. And it's just recently that right to work and all this stuff is coming out, and like it's robbing people of that bargaining power.
Yep.
And you see it in Amazon, like all these billions of dollars,
Yeah,
and
Starbucks, all these motherfucking
yeah,
places. They go out of their way
they're
to make
making
sure unions are not a thing.
wages are like at an all-time low because of us not having that ability to
But
bargain.
yet profits are at an all-time fucking high. Look at
Yep.
that. You love to see that.
That trickle down ain't exactly trickling.
Oh god, trickle my balls.
Yes, sir.
All right. I think we can call it covered. I feel like we hit these issues. We did it. Is there anything that you wanted to plug or say to kind of maybe wrap things up?
Uh, I don't really have too much to plug, but I will say this: go out and vote.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
we are in dangerous times, and I know it sucks because we've been in dangerous times a lot lately. But like, if you just think back to like 8 years ago when Donald Trump entered office and like how he handled COVID, and like that was just him, like that was him knowing that he was going to need to be reelected.
Bro, he
Once
knee
he gets
jerked and
in,
said,
he
"Yeah,
gets
let's do vaccines." Actually, and then people hated it. It was
yeah.
crazy.
So let's do ourselves a favor and make sure this man doesn't get in office, and also unionize everything.
Fuck yeah. I love both of those things. I mean, like I said before, I'm either gonna do the absentee vote, or I will be fucking in lockstep with all the old pasty motherfuckers again, like I was in fucking 2016 and 2020, voting for the same fucking loser that I vote for and hoping that motherfucker win. Like,
Yep.
that's just me, and that's you, and I really do hope that you do vote, and if you
Yeah.
don't, then go do something, man. That's what I have to say. Just go get active. Don't use those Twitter
Yeah.
fingers. And you could just say, well, aren't you just a yapaholic, Isaiah? It's like, yeah, I am, and you caught me. I'm guilty, but I am at least doing my thing. Which is once again in November, putting those fucking buttons. So
Using your platform to inform people, and I think
yeah.
that's an important thing as
I try.
well.
Thank you. I try. I do my best.
Well, you do good, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. But yes, on that note, I'm gonna call it an episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being a friend, and hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye bye. Mwah.